What's up, guys? Jeremy Conn here. It is the Lowdown. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Appreciate you checking this out. Please click the like and subscribe button. And if you click the notification button, that'll let you know anytime one of these gets posted. This will be a shorter podcast, and I know every time I say that, it ends up being about a 20-minute podcast. This one's going to be roughly under 10 minutes. I only got 2 games to talk about. Nothing really to get in depth over. I will give out a play that I like. You guys are going to probably vomit clicking that button, but I think it's the right side. It's the right play, but we'll get into that when the time comes. I want to tell you about the Concrete Inner Circle. If you're checking out the Inner Circle, you can text that number, text the words Inner Circle there, and find out about my rated system plays that we have going on Telegram. Been very profitable over there. Have a nice week. Had my first losing day on, what is today? On Wednesday night. And you know what? It wasn't even bad. My top plays didn't hit, and I hit a bunch of other stuff. So it wasn't even like one of those horrific days where you lost a bunch of units, but I hate losing days, and everybody does. And, I've had a couple of those where I give out every Monday and Thursday, I give out my Monday Night Football play and Thursday Night Football play, usually with 4 free props. I don't force it if there's not 4, but if there's 4 I like, I post them. So, like, for example, Thursday night, we talked about some of those props. I put them in. For the guys that watch the show, you're going to get them usually for free. But I put all that stuff in with Mason Taylor under 4.5 receptions, Breece Hall over rushing yards, Travion Henderson anytime touchdown, and Mac Hollins over his – I had it at 36.5 yards, but by the time we recorded this, it went up to 40. I still like it. I think he gets over 40 yards. And that's where I stand. Loved Old Dominion. We talked about that. In the NBA and college hoops, I just want to run through this. College has been – nobody likes to admit this. College has been kicking my ass. Now, I've had – playing these top 25 games, I've done really well so far this year, but it's not something I'm going to hang my hat on. Totals have been a big part of what I do. Baseball, basketball, football, even hockey. I feel like I have a better edge on totals than what most people do in how I look at the games. And so I've tried to hammer those plays as much as I can. So, there have been spots where it just hasn't worked out. I've had the fast-paced games at, what was it? I had 2 smaller schools the other day, and the total was 167.5, something like that, and it finishes at 160. I did get a really fast-paced game. Don't get the fouling at the end that maybe you're hoping for, or don't get the three-point shooting that you like, or teams get three-point happy and they're not making it. And I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just how I started off. It just means I'm going to go on a hellacious tear coming up here in a short period of time. But once things start to, I've said this before, with top 25 teams, pretty good at calling upsets. I do like Purdue plus the points against Alabama. Saw it at 4.5, went to 3.5. I wouldn't be shocked if Purdue won outright. I do like this Bama team. They're going to play fast. But even then, I thought their total might be a little bit too high. Bama's going to have some games in the 180s and 190s, guys. They just are, because they play so fast and they score so easily. And I know they're replacing some key pieces on that team. But as we look at it, Purdue can play. They can play really fast. Braden Smith's one of my favorite players in the entire country. I thought that guy was just special. And Purdue just keeps reloading. I don't know what it is, where they find all their 7-foot white dudes, but they find them left and right. So, but yeah, I think Purdue's a live dog, but I would gladly take them plus the points. I like Pitt and West Virginia, the backyard brawl, basketball game to go under its total. And I'm on Cornell over. I'm not going to, again, people are going to start to think, you're on them all the time. I'm on them where I think the right spots are. And I will fade accordingly or not bet it if I'm seeing something different. But yes, the first 3 games, I have been on their overs in all 3 games, this being the third. Now, NBA, I like the Cavs, the Jazz over. I thought those were interesting on a small slate. And in hockey, yeah, I started a new streak. I talked about it. Had the Rangers and Lightning over. That damn game, did it go over in the first period or shortly after? As they just went goal happy in the first period and didn't really have to sweat it. That was just a ridiculous game with how much scoring went. Was it 7-3? Something like that. So hockey's been very kind to me. I love Calgary, and I was on the Panthers and the Capitals under at 5.5, looking to start a new streak as I've won 8 out of 9 in the NHL. And won yesterday to kind of get this thing started again. So hopefully we hit both of these tonight or Thursday night. That being said, let's look at what we have for Friday. Now, I do have some prop plays that I kind of like. I like Kewan Brown to go under 83.5 yards in the Louisville game. I was looking at a bunch of different things. Like, I had been betting Chris Bell for Louisville to go over. He gets so many targets. But, man, does he catch a lot of 5- and 6-yard passes. It's frustrating. He'll get like 13 targets and average 6 yards a catch. And you're going, come on, man, throw the ball to him downfield. And maybe I'm exaggerating here a bit, but he gets massive targets and just doesn't get to 100 yards. And I think his prop's at 80.5. And I always want to go over. I think I've done it the past 2 weeks, and I've missed, even though I've had winning days in college props. Just wasn't for me. So let's get to this. We're going to talk about the plays for today, and then I'm going to get out of here, guys. We'll have more to go over on the Friday podcast for Saturday, as I'll break down a bunch of college football games, and I'll throw out some props for those games as well. But let's start it off with Clemson at Louisville. Louisville's -3, 60.5 is the total. It's a high number, but I'm not touching it. I'm not going anywhere near it. Clemson is it's just been a tough team to lay your money on because they're supposed to be way better than they're playing, and it just something is amiss. And we see them show up at times against other teams, and I know matchups make fights. I say it all the time. I still think I'm going to take Clemson plus the 3 here. This is why I'm telling you this is a lean more than a play. I want to dive more into this game Thursday night and into Friday to see how much I like it, or if it's something that's just going to be a small play for me. But I am going to be on it, even though I'm calling it a lean. Clemson plus the 3 points. I think they're a live dog. Wouldn't be shocked if they won outright. I mean, this is a huge game for Louisville, and if you look at the ACC, everybody hovering around each other. There's like 5 teams with similar records, and none of them have played one another. And then now they're all starting to play each other. So we'll see who winds up on top. I still think Georgia Tech's the best team in the ACC. I remember saying that and forgetting Miami, like not even thinking about Miami being in the ACC, and then someone giving me just a rash of shit for saying that. And I went, oh, my God, you're right. I'm so sorry. I forgot about Miami. You know what? I'm not sorry. Georgia Tech's the best team in the ACC. I didn't say it with my chest back then, so I don't know why I'm doing it now. But I love this Georgia Tech team. Going to be fun to watch them. By the way, on Saturday, I'm taking Haynes King over rushing yards. I think he gets to 100 again. It's props right around 90, 91.5, somewhere in there. I feel a sneeze coming on, so bear with me if I go off screen for a second. Yeah, this one's going to pop. Oh, man, my eyes are watering. All right, let's get to this last game, and this will be a freemium. Minnesota is headed to Oregon. I love games like this. Like Indiana is one of those games this weekend where it's like a lower total in the 40s and the team's favored by a ton. So Oregon's favored by 25 and the total's 44.5. It's weird because my freemium is going to be on the under. I just don't know that Minnesota is going to score. I don't, it's one of those games where I can't take Oregon because could they win 31-0, 38-0? Yeah. But I think conventional wisdom would tell you that if you're going to play the under, you probably want to take the underdog because you pigeonhole yourself in that window if the underdog scores. If Minnesota scores a touchdown and then all of a sudden you're taking a team minus 25, now you know what you need. You need your team to score 32, and it's getting closer to that total. If they score twice, then all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't win this bet. I mean, conventional wisdom says to take the over with the favorite and the under with the underdog. I'm not saying that's how it applies in every game, but when you see these lower totals with high favorites, like high spreads. Like Indiana has one this weekend where they're favored by 28.5, and I think the total's in the high 40s. I think in that game, I would take Indiana and parlay it with the over and just hope Indiana drops a 50 burger or something on them and they score once or twice. But Indiana's just they're a juggernaut, man. They look so good, and every time they play an inferior opponent, they just shove it up their rear ends. But with Minnesota and Oregon, I mean, look, Oregon's defense is better than you think, and I think they slow down this Minnesota team. I think the scary part is people are going to go, oh, my God, what if Oregon just boat races them? And I think it's possible. I just don't think it's likely. So I'm going to be on the under in the Minnesota and Oregon game as my freemium play. Guys, make sure you check out Pickdawgz.com. Please check out the Concrete Inner Circle, text Inner Circle to that number. Over at the premium side, I waited this week a little bit more than usual to put up my premium plays because, full disclosure, I think the NFL is unbelievably tough. I think this is the best card that they've had from a difficulty standpoint in finding the right sides. Lots of 3-point favorites on the road. Lots of bad teams facing what we deem to be good teams. Teams that are coming off of losses that need a win. Kansas City coming off the bye facing Denver. And there's just a lot that's going on this weekend. So I do think the NFL is tougher. I think I have 4 or 5 games that I really like, including what my best play is going to be. So you guys can check that out on the premium side. By the time you guys see this video, it should be posted. And I'll continue. And tomorrow I'm going to have a longer podcast that when we get into some of these college football games, because I think it's a great slate for Saturday. So we'll do more of that. Hope you win some cash, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.